Juha was a simple man. He bought a donkey to help him with his work and with the needs of his daily life. Among the people, there were those who mocked him and his donkey. Some would ask to use his donkey to carry burdens that it could not always bear. This led him to rely on his cunning from time to time to avoid being exploited. One day, 3 wise men went to the king's palace. The king's assistant appeared and informed the king that 3 wise men wished to meet him. The king ordered that they be received with courtesy, that the finest dishes be prepared for them, and that a suitable place be provided for their stay. After the wise men had rested enough, the king asked to see them in the evening. They appeared before him and asked the king to meet the wisest man in his city. The king remained silent, not knowing what to say, for he did not know of any sage in his city. But the king's assistant saved the situation and said to them,
"Yes, there is a sage in our city, but he had to travel to another place."
The 3 wise men waited for the sage's return and kept asking about him every day. The king's assistant then felt embarrassed, for in truth, there was no sage in their city. He had only said so to avoid putting the king in an awkward position. One day, while the king's assistant was lost in perplexity, a man came to the palace and informed him that there was a man who had sold him his donkey 3 times, and that he had paid 3 times to buy the very same donkey. The king's assistant was astonished at what the man said and told him.
"Who is your neighbor?"
Then he informed him that his name was Juha. So the king's assistant went to see Juha and questioned him about what he had done. He replied,
"It is the donkey itself that comes back each time and says to me, 'I do not want to be away from you.'"
"And does the donkey speak?"
"Yes, and I understand the language of the donkey."
The king's assistant informed Juha that he had to appear the next morning, and if he did not come, he would be thrown into prison and beheaded. Juha said to the king's assistant,
"Yes, I will come tomorrow, God willing."
And when Juha appeared the next day, the king's assistant informed him that he was going to bring him before the king, that there were 3 wise men, that he would be regarded as the sage of this city, and that he must answer every question posed by the 3 wise men. If he failed to answer, he would be imprisoned and beheaded. Juha said to the king's assistant,
"Very well, very well. You know perfectly well that I am not a sage, and I have never claimed to be one, but I will try to answer everything that the 3 wise men ask me."
Juha entered before the king, and the 3 wise men decided that each of them would ask only one question, so as not to expose themselves to embarrassment. The first wise man stood up and asked Juha,
"Where is the center of the earth?"
"It is under the feet of my donkey."
"And what is your proof for that?"
"You just have to dig to verify the truth of my words."
The sage fell silent, realizing that before him stood a cunning man who could not be outwitted. After that, the second wise man rose and posed to Juha the second question.
"Tell me how many stars there are in the sky."
"The number of stars in the sky is exactly the same as the number of hairs on my donkey's body."
"And how did you know that?"
"If you do not believe me, sit down and count the donkey's hairs."
"Is it reasonable that I should count the hairs of your donkey?"
"And is it reasonable that I should count the stars in the sky?"
The wise men exchanged glances and understood that they were facing a man both cunning and wise. Then came the turn of the third wise man, who asked Juha,
"How many hairs are there on my head?"
"The number of hairs on your head is exactly equal to the number of hairs in the donkey's tail."
"Then how could we be sure of that?"
"It is very simple. We will pull out the hairs from your head and those from the donkey's tail, one by one, until not a single hair remains. Then we will know how many hairs you had at the moment when you are bald."
In summary, Juha was able to answer all the questions, and he amazed everyone with his intelligence and logic. He responded without hesitation, making the assembly laugh and impressing them with his cunning and wisdom. From this, we conclude that the king's decision to take him as his advisor was a wise one.